There is a version of Michael Jordan the world never talks about. No cameras, no crowds, no championship rings on display. Just wide open land, dense forest, and a silence so complete it almost feels impossible for a man of his stature. While the world still argues about his legacy, debates his records, and replays his highlights on loop, Jordan himself has quietly disappeared into 143 acres of North Carolina mountain country. No press conferences, no public appearances, just a man, his land, and a life built entirely on his own terms. What he built out there is not just a property, it is a statement. And once you understand what it says, you will never look at Michael Jordan the same way again. To understand why Jordan chose this life, you have to go back to where everything started. Not the championships, not the Nike deal. Further back than that. Michael Jordan was born on February 17, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York. His father, James, worked with his hands. His mother, Dolores, managed finances with precision and calm. When Michael was still young, the family relocated to Wilmington, North Carolina. A quieter place, a slower pace, a world away from New York noise. That move shaped him more than people realize. It gave him room to fail without an audience and space to rebuild without pressure. At Emsley A. Laney High School, he got cut from the varsity basketball team as a sophomore. That rejection became rocket fuel. He trained through the summer, grew nearly 10 centimeters, hardened his confidence, and returned the following year as a different player entirely. By his senior season, he was averaging 25 points per game and performing on national stages. The kid who got cut was now the most recruited player in the country. He chose North Carolina for structure, not spectacle. As a freshman, he hit the shot that won the national championship with 15 seconds on the clock over Patrick Ewing, in front of the entire country. He said later that moment taught him to trust himself when everything was on the line. That belief never left him. What followed was one of the most dominant careers in professional sports history. 6 championships, 5 MVP awards, 14 All-Star selections, a Presidential Medal of Freedom awarded by Barack Obama in 2016, alongside figures like Tom Hanks, Bruce Springsteen, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Basketball made him famous, but here is what people miss. At every peak, Jordan was already looking for the exit. He retired twice. First after the murder of his father, walking away from the sport that defined him to play minor league baseball in quiet stadiums. Then again years later before finishing with 2 final seasons in Washington. Each departure said the same thing. This man was never addicted to the spotlight. He was addicted to competition. And when competition no longer gave him what he needed, he walked away without looking back. That pattern explains everything about the ranch. Tucked inside the exclusive 1,250-acre Snowbird Mountain community in western North Carolina, Jordan's estate spans approximately 143.9 acres of mountain land that the outside world cannot touch. 3 gated entrances, dense woodland on every side, a gravel drive that curves through the trees before the property even comes into view. From a distance, the main residence almost vanishes into the landscape. Dark wood siding, natural stone, pitched roofs that follow the slope of the mountain. This place was not designed to impress visitors. It was designed to disappear. The main house was built in 2002 and spans 2,492 square feet. 3 bedrooms, 3 full baths, 2 half baths, a wide covered porch anchored by a stone fireplace that opens onto terraces overlooking fenced green pastures and layered mountain views. This is not the home of a man trying to remind you of who he is. This is the home of a man who already knows. A short covered breezeway connects the main house to a guest cabin built in 1999. At 1,362 square feet, it offers 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, and its own large porch. Guests have space, but they also have distance. Privacy is not just a feature here, it is the entire philosophy. Step inside and the design tells you everything. High wooden ceilings with exposed beams, wide plank floors with a warm, aged tone, a central stone fireplace surrounded by deep seating, solid wood tables, and low lighting. Nothing in this space is trying to perform. Everything is built to slow you down. The kitchen follows the same logic. Wooden cabinetry, a large central island, stone surfaces, and wide windows that look back into the trees. It feels lived in, grounded, real. But the land itself is what separates this property from every luxury estate you have ever seen. A large barn exceeding 1,800 square feet includes an office, bathroom, storage rooms, and loft space above. A second barn sits within a separately fenced pasture for livestock and equipment. There is also a pole barn, a workshop, an orchard, a garden, and scenic walking trails that follow Little Pine Creek all the way toward Lake Glenville. Picnic areas with panoramic mountain views are positioned across the property. This is not decoration. This is a fully operational estate built for a man who wants to be completely self-sufficient. And that is the point people keep missing about Michael Jordan. At the height of his fame, he was earning $33 million in a single NBA season. His Air Jordan brand now generates more than $2.5 billion annually for Nike, with Jordan pulling in $80 to $100 million in royalties every year. His net worth today sits at an estimated $3.6 billion, built through decades of endorsements, ownership, and disciplined business decisions. In 2023, he sold the majority of his stake in the Charlotte Hornets in a deal valuing the team at $3 billion, adding over $1 billion to his personal wealth. The man had every option available to him: private islands, penthouses in Manhattan, estates in Beverly Hills. He chose 143 acres of North Carolina mountain land where his nearest neighbor is separated by hundreds of acres of forest. That choice is not random. It is the most Michael Jordan thing he has ever done, because Jordan has never been motivated by what other people see. He has always been motivated by what he feels. And what he feels out there, surrounded by forest and silence and open pasture, is something no arena ever gave him permanently: control. Control, total, uninterrupted control over his environment and his time. His daily routine at the ranch reflects that. Mornings built around structure, long stretches of reading, watching sports from a distance, offering guidance only when asked. Golf with a small circle of trusted friends, not for networking, but for the meditative rhythm the game provides. Travel that is selective and purposeful. A personal circle that has stayed the same for decades because loyalty means more to him than novelty ever could. His wife, Yvette Prieto, and their twin daughters, born in 2014, are at the center of this life. He is known to be fiercely protective of them, deliberately keeping their world as normal as possible despite his impossible name. In 2019, he became a grandfather through his daughter Jasmine, a milestone he welcomed with the same quiet intensity he brings to everything. Here is the truth that the highlight reels will never show you. Michael Jordan spent 16 seasons proving to the world that no one could stop him. And then he spent the rest of his life proving he didn't need the world at all. The ranch is not a retirement. It is not a retreat. It is the final championship, the one he built entirely for himself, on 143 acres of North Carolina mountain land, surrounded by silence he earned and controls completely. And by every measure that actually matters, he won.